What happened in Fiji, Simon?
Fiji with Meghan. Well, that was really the only big tour it is the only big tour they did before Archie was born. So this was a few months after their wedding in 2018. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Tonga. It was an epic trip, but in hindsight, we now everything makes sense. The sort of hostility towards the British media and how he was treating us. I don't expect anybody to feel sympathy, but it was a bit weird compared to the Harry that I knew from previous trips. It was quite hostile, and certainly no chats, off the record chats. So there was one day in this epic tour that was specifically Meghan's day for women's education, empowerment, entrepreneurs, and I was at the engagement in the market in Suva, which was hot, but it wasn't chaos, and there was a clear route for Meghan to take there to meet all of these female businesses.
It was supposed to be a celebration. Meghan Markle, the new Duchess of Sussex, glowing and pregnant, joining Prince Harry on a royal tour through the Pacific. But something strange happened during a stop at a market in Fiji. A scheduled walkabout lasted only 6 minutes before Meghan was suddenly whisked away. No one knew it then, but this short, tense moment would be an early sign of the massive fallout to come. Today, we're unpacking Meghan's nightmare Fiji market drama and how it foreshadowed everything that followed. In October 2018, Meghan and Harry embarked on a highly publicized royal tour through Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, and Fiji. This was their first overseas tour as a married couple, and the announcement of Meghan's pregnancy added even more buzz. The couple was widely praised for their warmth, informality, and connection with people.
I've really felt sorry for the people who wanted to meet her. And well, at that point, Meghan was the superstar, the new superstar of the British royal family. And all they saw was that, For us, it was a story. For the palace staff, it was a nightmare. I mean, they were very upset. They didn't know what had just happened. And were trying to spin 5 different versions of what we had all just seen. And it sort of torpedoed her own day in the diary. That was specifically the Women's Education Empowerment Day. So with hindsight, was that, does everything now make sense? And was that, Meghan's, behaviour on that day, was that, a true reflection? It didn't look good. It was not what a royal visit's all about. And you don't see. I never saw the Queen do that. You couldn't imagine.
You must have had happier royal stories then. There must be happier times or trips abroad that you've been with the royals that you've had better situations. Yeah, I mean, just to contrast it, the royals will know who they're going to meet, how long it's supposed to take, sort of, and which order it's going to happen in. And then it broadly happens. So that's what you saw with the late Queen, and you see with Charles will take longer. But yeah, I mean, the royal trips that with the Queen, which really stand out, were actually 2 places she had wanted to go for years and years and years. She went to Bergen-Belsen, which was the camp that the British liberated in.
Meghan, in particular, was celebrated as a modern royal, approachable, American, and passionate about causes like women's empowerment and education. But beneath the surface, all was not smooth sailing. On October 24th, Meghan was scheduled to visit Suva Market in Fiji to highlight the work of women entrepreneurs supported by the UN. It was a simple event. Walk through the market, speak to local women, highlight a meaningful cause. But only 6 minutes after arriving, Meghan was suddenly escorted out by her security team. Crowds watched in confusion as she was rushed away, looking visibly uncomfortable and distressed. Kensington Palace's official explanation? Security concerns due to crowd size. But many who were there said the crowd was friendly, excited, and under control. So what really happened? According to multiple royal correspondents and insiders, the real issue may have been frustration and emotional strain behind the scenes. Reports later suggested that Meghan was upset because the palace removed key members of the UN Women's Group from the engagement. She had hoped to speak to local women involved in gender equality efforts, but due to internal royal decisions,
World War II. So covering that visit to Germany was very special. And also in 2011, her trip to our nearest neighbour, the Republic of Ireland, which she had longed to go to for many, many years, partly to visit the racehorses, but also because she wanted to go there. And she'd never been allowed to go there because of security reasons, but finally in 2011 she did. And she began her speech in Dublin Castle, which is full of very difficult history, but obviously between the UK and the Republic. But she began her speech in Gaelic, and I mean, actually thinking of it now is giving me goosebumps because it was a very special moment for her. And I feel so privileged to have been on that trip. Most people in the Republic, 95%, 99% of people in the Republic really valued that visit. She went to Croke Park, where the original Bloody Sunday happened, where troops for the Crown opened fire. And
had the same success that the late Queen had.
No way.
Because I had family in Ireland at that time, and they still talk about it, and they say, "Oh, well, the Queen apologised." She didn't apologise,
No.
but the Irish, they were so won over by how brave she was and how incredible she was, and as I say, the speech that I'm very envious that you were there and you got to actually witness it. But
she said that we regret things that shouldn't have happened or should have happened, not happened at all. That sort of thing. Sinn Féin boycotted that meeting, and I think they realised it was a mistake, that visit. And I think they realised that was a mistake because a couple of years later, Martin McGuinness did shake her hand on a visit to Northern Ireland. But actually that 2011 visit, Sinn Féin officially weren't represented there.
Those individuals weren't present. Sources say Meghan felt undermined and muzzled, unable to advocate authentically for the causes she cared about. Combined with pregnancy fatigue and media scrutiny, the situation became overwhelming. Whether it was a panic attack, stress, or simply disappointment, something triggered that abrupt exit. At the time, British tabloids spun the story with subtle mockery. Headlines claimed Meghan was difficult or diva-like for not completing the engagement. But for Meghan supporters, the Fiji incident was an early red flag, a clear sign that her royal role was being tightly controlled and that internal friction with palace staff had begun to boil over. Later revelations would show just how deep that tension ran. Looking back now, this brief 6-minute engagement wasn't just a footnote, it was a warning shot.
Is that your favourite visit, do you think? Your favourite tour?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very lucky boy. I've been to some amazing exotic places like Solomon Islands with William and Kate, which was absolutely magical. Solomon Islands is one of the few Commonwealth realms where the king is still king, and the Queen then was Queen of the Solomon Islands. So to have a visit from the newly married grandson of the Queen, you could see, man. I tell you what, the thing about that visit was it changed my perspective because I was quite cynical about it all until then, and cynical about certain things still. But what it means to different people, even on the other side of the world, in the South Pacific, the Queen was their Queen. William was the grandson of their Queen. And to see these people who had literally walked all day to go to this open air service, and William and Catherine turned up. I tell you what, my cynicism melted away that day because it meant so much. And who was I to say, this is it's weird that you have a queen on the other side of the earth.
It revealed how little autonomy Meghan truly had, how her causes could be edited or filtered, and how the media was quick to frame her every move in a negative light. Within 18 months of that market walkout, Meghan and Harry would be gone, stepping down from royal duties, citing mental health pressures, lack of support, and a toxic press environment. It all makes that moment in Fiji feel like the beginning of the end, the place where everything started to unravel, quietly, publicly, and tragically. So what really happened in Fiji? Was it just a crowd control issue? Or was it the first glimpse of a royal system that never made room for Meghan? What do you think? Did the palace fail her? Or was she never meant for that life? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive compelling, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more royal revelations every week.